Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Sturgey, and here I go on and about another holiday horror film called The Stirring, which eventually was renamed Mrs. Claus, but I happen to have it from its Kickstarter title called Stirring. From Fright Meter Films is director Troy Escamilla's film about a sorority house called Delta Sigma Sigma. And here is the cover of the alleged Mrs. Claus before it becomes that title. And now, Troy has, this is his second feature, and he brings back a few characters, but he brings in a few new characters as well, which is what I like. He has some go-to actors and actresses that I think he's gone to, but this time he is working with legendary screen queen Brink Stevens, who has been in the Slumber Party Massacre, as well as Nightmare Sisters, as well as Helen Udy, who was in My Bloody Valentine and The Dead Zone. And these two play Mrs. Werner, and Brink Stevens, well, Helen Udy plays Mrs. Werner, and Brink Stevens plays Julie Cornell, who is evidently a residential rent-a-cop on the campus. So we also have a few actors and actresses that have been showing up on the indie scene as well. We have Kaylee Williams playing Amber, and we also have Mel Heflin playing Angela in the very beginning of this film. In the very beginning, we see a hazing for this Delta Sigma Sigma sorority, and they are relatively mean to the young lady involved, who is played by Mel Heflin, who I have seen start to pop up. She's a relatively very beautiful redhead. And I just recently saw her in a film that I still have to go on about called Halloween Horror Tales, which was directed by a totally different director with a totally different producer, which I will get to eventually. So, yeah, evidently they made her do a few things that made her go over the edge, and we see her commit suicide. I don't want to say too much more about that, but I'm getting a kind of a Black Christmas, kind of a sorority killing kind of a vibe. You know, kind of a Christmassy, a group of friends who evidently one of the party goers of this party that is supposed to happen on so we have the same kind of a theme. In Party Night, there was a graduation party. In this film, there is a Christmas party. So I see some similarities, at least as far as, you know, people going to a party, people end up bringing some recreational drugs, and you know, people expect to get laid in a sense. And I think that the killings are very different. Each one seems to be just as gory as before. So I do think that there are some very different kills in this film. I'm loving the slow vibe of, you know, and I love that you don't really get to see the entire twist of the film until 3/4 of the way into the film. But that gives this the storyline and the character development time to bloom and blossom, and that's what I liked about this film, is that the story, um, as it unfolded, you got drawn into the characters, drawn into the main characters and their involvement, and what each had to do with the storyline. I do think that there were some slow moments, but I really enjoyed the attempt, the mood, the Christmas theme, and ultimately this title of Stirring was turned into Mrs. Claus, which, as we see, evidently is the revenge name of whoever is going after each and every one of these people that might be involved with the main character involved in the story. So I think that I think Troy should be should be given some I think that Troy should be given at least a couple of views with this film. I mean, yeah, it looks kind of independent from afar, and it is, but it's put together rather well. It's got some very good actresses, maybe some slow moments, but I think there is definitely room for improvement in the filmmaking, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that my name was a part of this, and I was able to help get this film out there in some way, shape, or form. Because if you look in the credits of this film, you'll see my name. So I was fairly impressed with the atmosphere and the way that this film turned out. I'm hoping that people can view this, you know, take this film to a party, watch it. You know, maybe it'll be a favorite at colleges or something like that, and that's what I think this will be. I hope that this will become a cult classic, and I hope that people can remember it for what it is. I enjoyed the performances. I think it was definitely interesting having the two ex, you know, film actresses. I don't think you get to see those two often together. You see Brink Stevens in a lot lately, but I don't think you get to see Helen Udy in as much as you'd like with Brink Stevens. So I thought this was a very interesting cast of characters, and pretty well done for the production that it put on. So in any case, hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. Definitely check out some of my other cool reviews. I'll definitely have some more cool reviews eventually down the road. And thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're doing. God bless you.